call this meeting to order. 6:35. 5 minutes late. Oh well. Yeah, I'll probably be recorded. I get recorded for everything. Yeah, I'm used
We'll
to
do
that.
it again.
I'm used to that by now. We'll just.
I'll record it.
Okay. Roll call. Oh, yep, we gotta do roll call.
Roll call. Mayor Waterman,
Here.
Trustee Davis,
Here.
Trustee Hinkleman is absent, Trustee Krugman,
Present.
Trustee Valigier,
Yes.
Trustee Comodina is absent, Trustee Boggs,
Yes.
the clerk is here, the treasurer is here, and the attorney is here, and we have a quorum.
Do the pledge of allegiance. Ready, fight. So I was asked at May 1st, in that meeting, I really don't know what took place. What the minutes say, so I can't say whether it was bad. I want to let you guys make a motion, whether or not you want them changed, or whether or not you accept them as they are. I wasn't at that meeting.
No, no, this is the one that Steve chaired in your absence that night.
Okay.
So number one is changed.
Yes, number one.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't call the meeting to order.
Right.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Should say Chairman Valigier.
Right.
Chairman Valigier.
What I'm looking at, I didn't call it to order.
Well, see, you're so used to you being here, she forgot you were here.
Well, you know, I just, like I said, I use a format.
So
It's your job that you were missed.
yes, I see that. So we just scratch number one from that, Shauna, or?
Yeah, I can change chairman to Chairman Valigier called the meeting to order. Absolutely.
Change it.
I'll make a motion, after we change number one, to accept the minutes as written.
Do we have a second on that?
Yep. That would be accurate to me, I will second that motion.
Second. Shirley Krogman? Trustee Krogman?
Or nobody called in. Well,
Oh, no, I told him.
I talked to him twice this month.
Okay.
He's not gonna come.
Apparently not.
It's in-
Okay, we have a motion to accept the minute. We have a second by Trustee Krogman. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, minute. Treasurer's report. I just had that in there. There.
There are 3 bills that occurred since I typed this up, for the bills to be paid in the month of June. Gary Sides got more diesel today, $39 worth. The Heine Huts bill of $130. And I don't know what we got the bill on the culverts, because they were delivered, and I know you guys want them paid out of MFT, but that can't be done until that's approved by,
I have one quick question. MediaCom,
yeah.
$219.85.
You talk,
But
Sean
we
has
were,
been on,
what the heck is going on with MediaCom? This is just a never-ending battle.
It's 2 months worth of billing and a $99 reconnect fee. The bill was going to the post office, we didn't get the bill here, so they cut it off.
And there was
That
no room
was a
for,
long time.
no room for a negotiation there, huh?
Apparently not, no.
Okay.
and is it connected now, Sean?
It is. Yeah.
So are we canceling AT&T?
As soon as we pay this, then I can make the call and we'll
Bundle it together?
bundle it, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I told him, I said, well, last month we didn't get a bill, so we couldn't pay it. And he said, well, there's another billing cycle. I said, well, you gotta tell me what we've gotta pay.
Gotcha.
We need this done.
Well, with that said, I would make the motion that we accept the financials and that we pay, additionally to the financials, we pay the tiny huts and the
Diesel. here.
diesel gas, because we've gotta have diesel to keep mowing. And continue to put that culvert bill on hold until
Yes.
we rectify that situation.
Right.
Then somebody's gonna have to make a call on the culverts, because I got another one in the mail today.
No. I should have an answer on the culverts. I'm gonna meet with Steve Blandow Monday or Tuesday. And once I talk to him and see what paperwork we're missing here, what we don't have in row, we can maybe call a meeting or something to maybe get this culvert paid. But I need to talk to, Leo talked to, motor fuel tax people for me, because I was working. And the motor fuel tax people give us some information that we did not have, and I think we're jumping out of line. That's why I'm vetoing having, and I'm jumping ahead of myself, but that's one reason I'm vetoing not having that work done at this time. Now, maybe next month we'll vote to have it done, that's fine. But I wanna have all of our ducks in a row first. I don't think we got all our i's dotted and our t's crossed, and I think that's in my veto explanation, that once we had met with the IDOT people,
And Steve Rondow.
and I talked to Brandell, or Brandow, excuse me, I keep calling the wrong name. Brandow, Steve Brandow, and both he and I both agreed that a meeting over the phone was not gonna be a good meeting. I needed to talk with him in person, so we're gonna get together either Monday or Tuesday night. I wish it would've been done before the meeting, it was not, I couldn't get to him before then. I'm working a lot of hours right now. But once I meet with him, and then maybe next month we can re-vote on having the culvert
And get
installed.
IDOT.
I'm not trying to say you guys did wrong, I'm not trying to veto it because of anything else other than I don't know if we have all our paperwork.
Well, and those culverts can be returned. I mean, when he dropped them off, he told me, I was there when he dropped them off, he told me that he brought the wrong size for the ones up on the hill, but he left them anyway, right?
They're all right. He did, but that was their mistake.
Okay. Well,
And there's another thing too, when Leo talks, and I wish Leo was here tonight so he could tell you verbatim what they told him, because I can only go by what he told me, is that there's a division of the motor fuel tax that takes care of material handling, and they would have purchased the culverts for us. Whether they have saved us money or not, I don't know. They might have saved us money on the culverts, but there is a lady there in charge of that particular thing, purchasing material. So whether we'd have saved money or not, I don't know. Leo wasn't here tonight to
And
point
like I
out part of
said,
it.
he
I wish
sends his
was.
regrets, but he could not work that out to be able to be off tonight.
Here,
So why don't we go back to, we'll put the bill for the culverts aside. maybe Shauna can take the time to call them and explain our situation and ask them to be patient while we work through all the paperwork that we have to work
Right, so
through.
we got everything in order. I don't wanna get caught in the middle of something not being.
Until we make the determination whether this was, yeah.
The main thing I think you're looking for is usually they want you to pass certain resolutions.
Right, they
And
want
they
to
draw
go,
those resolutions, deliver them to you, saying what they need. As soon as you do that, give that back to them, then they're willing to start moving forward with cash.
right, that's one of the things Leo said too, I missed that part, yeah.
Right,
I'm
and-
glad you brought that up.
and-
We're supposed to have a resolution in order before we approach them.
And they usually supply that to you, so I mean, if they want me to draw it, I need to know that.
This is one thing I talked to Steve
They have their own
Brandow,
forms.
Brandow about
Been
too,
doing it a
because
long time.
in the past, they've done all of our work.
Mhm.
And I don't know if they haven't been the ones that's been taking care of that part of the paperwork for us. I don't really know until I meet with him. And I was trying to get
They'll
it
do
done
They'll just
before
need a
this
fee
meeting.
attached to do it.
Yeah, so we need to get,
No, part of it.
I need to get that meeting taken care of, and we need to back up on what we're doing. I'm not gonna say, and I'm not trying to insult the board here.
Gotcha.
I don't think you're.
I just think we need to back up on having that work done until we make sure everything's in order.
Well, we can't just look into that motor fuel account without a resolution, right? We can't just dip in that motor fuel account if we want to without a resolution for that.
Right, and that's what they were
So-
calling us.
If everybody's in agreement on that,
Settle it, set on it, so
sit on it,
get more information.
call them and give our apologies, you know.
I have one other,
So, there's still the motion on the table about the financial.
Okay, we'll set the financials, the security side, more, diesel purchase, how much was it?
39.
And we'll add the Heine Huts, get them paid, and put the culverts on the back burner.
130.
So that's the motion I have on the table, and I don't believe it got seconded
I'll
yet.
second.
And we have a second from Steve, and do we have anybody that's gonna oppose? Is that all right, everybody in favor?
Well, still gotta take a roll call vote, we're
Oh,
dealing with
that's-
money, right?
Yeah, okay.
Trustee Davis,
Yes.
trustee Krugman,
Yes.
trustee Valier,
Yes.
trustee Boss,
Yes.
the motion is carried.
I have one question just for you, if you want. You said the immediate account was sending it to the wrong address. Do they know the right address to send it to now?
Yes, they sure
That
do.
doesn't- okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hear everybody say
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, that was the first thing I got cleared up with them, is where are you sending this bill? Because we're not getting it.
And why doesn't the post office forward here?
Right, yeah, wondered the same darn thing.
It's such a tiny little post office, we know everybody by name there, I mean, they know all of us by name, why didn't they give that to Jennifer and have her forward it to this mailbox?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I pretty much just explained, what I'm gonna veto the culvert. Now, I'm gonna
Okay.
veto the check signing thing for another reason, and it's by the book. When I took this office, I wanted everything to be done by the book. The past administration, they done a lot of things that were pretty shady. They got away with it. I'm not trying to get away with anything. I don't want this administration to get away with anything. I want this administration to do everything by the book. That's my goal. That's what I campaigned for, by the book. Let's do it by the book. I'm working a lot of hours right now, I'd like to resign because I don't have the time to take care of this village, the way it should be taken care of. But until I'm 100% sure that this board can do everything by the book, then I'm gonna stay in office, and we're gonna work together, and we're gonna make this a better community. So this time I'm gonna veto that too, we're gonna keep it the way it is, and go from there. I'm sorry, Steve, it's nothing against you, I just want everything by the book.
I didn't know it was illegal.
It's not
It's-
illegal or improper, but
It's
I would say
things
the
we
mayor-
don't know,
Same.
we need to know, and it's a lot of it's, most of it's my fault, it's my fault, I'm working so many hours.
Well,
But you
that's
can have
what
as
we
many
thought,
signers
yeah.
on the account as you wanna have on the account, but if you feel it's unnecessary at this time, then it's unnecessary at this
Well,
time, and I don't think anybody's in
I'm,
disagreement with
I'm,
that.
it's still, I'm still available to sign checks. So, right now, if you guys wanna override it next month, that's fine with me. But that's gonna give us another month, get all the paperwork done, all the paperwork done, we're getting our IDOT money, and then we can go from there.
Is everybody that signs checks now bonded?
I don't know that I am.
Yeah.
Well, I should be bonded through, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The only thing having another person as a signer is if somebody was put in the hospital, somebody was out of town,
Right.
and
Right
we
now,
had a
there's just
meeting.
two on there.
If you're called out of town because of a death in a family, and there's only you and I that can sign it, no bills are gonna be paid. That's the only thing.
You know, there's some questions that arose on that.
Well, let's just leave it at, that gives you something to think about. Think
Yeah,
about a
that's
third signer on those accounts and.
And
And
next
do
month,
your-
next month, I'll put it back on the agenda. I'll put it
Absolutely.
on the agenda next month and let the board
I think
decide at
that's
that time.
a good plan.
Rich, I just wanted to ask you, your meeting with Brandau, is that gonna include, the prospect of,
Doing Main Street?
asphalt on Main Street?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
We're gonna try and get everything covered in one time to, I call them IDOT, but it's motor fuel tax people. I don't know what their actual proper name for them is. I just call them the IDOT people. But yes, it's gonna include getting a bid from them on the same thing. So does Kyle do asphalt? No.
They're limited to county, Tri-City,
Mm-hmm.
now one over there on 22, I can't think of them right
That's
now.
why they could have got the county to do it.
You won't be county's price.
No, because they-
Part of my meeting with him will be to discuss the Main Street also at the same time. Well, actually, what all paperwork we need to do, where we messed up on this, as related to what IDOT people are telling us we messed up, so we can try to get everything in order. And he's been doing this for a long time, and he sounded really nice over the phone, and he suggested a face-to-face meeting, and I said, that's exactly where I wanted to go with it too. And he even actually suggested that he would travel to my home after work hours, and I don't get home till after 6, usually it's after 6:15. And he still said he would come down to my house, meet with me, go over the congested plan, tell us where we're at.
Well, I would just like to add that I resent the word messed up. I think that perhaps the board was a little too enthusiastic.
Well, I'm
Project
sorry,
roll.
I shouldn't have said that.
Although I personally.
And I said.
I personally voted no that night because I didn't feel we had enough information to start moving forward, but
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm as big as the fault here as anybody.
well,
I should've-
accountable, it's not a fault, it's accountability, we were trying to do the right thing. I think
Yeah,
everybody was
yeah,
being
I totally
enthusiastic in this project, and now we'll get it back on the correct track with everybody and get it moving forward and get it done. That hole in that road down there's been there for how many years?
Yeah, 6, 7, 8.
As long as I've lived here,
Yeah,
8, 10 years.
yeah, so another month on it won't hurt that hole.
Exactly.
Hey, Richard, that's why I met with Steve
Yes,
in the first place,
yep.
to find out what was going on.
Yeah, and he didn't give me any.
They wouldn't give me any information about it. They just told me that they would take care of it.
Yeah, see, that's what we've come, I believe where we got off track, I should say, maybe for lack of better words. They've always taken care of all the paperwork for us before, so we did not know that there was paperwork. We had to take
That's
care of
why
it
he
and
told
went
me they
somewhere
could
else.
not have a bid. Because they don't do that with, villages and, and townships. Because they would be lower than the contractors, which they probably are.
No, I'm sure they probably are. They've always have been in the past. Anyway, this, unless there's any more discussion, I'd like to go ahead and move past that point and go to number 4, and we'll put that back on next month's agenda, and by that time, anybody can have more time to research it. I have a meeting with Brandau, I can give you his information, what he says. And hopefully Leo would be there so he can take what the IDOT people said. Okay, let's go to adjourn.
Okay, well, I think you've seen, I sent a couple of letters out. I received a letter from John Ames, his attorney for Jimmy White. And I spoke with him on the phone the other day, and I think that if we don't do some action on it, they're planning on filing an action to force our hands. I'm just letting you know that. I think that if you want to speak about it, I truly believe that litigation's in the offing if we don't do something one way or the other. So I think if we wanted to, we'd call a closed meeting for impending litigation. But I truly believe that that's the next step under there, from conversations with John and things that have been going on here. I don't want to talk about possible litigation totally in the open public till we get there, but I'd like to maybe have a 5-minute closed session just to talk regarding impending litigation in regard to that particular instance. Otherwise, haven't got any other big things here that you can't see that I haven't addressed already. So that's the only thing I'm thinking that I would, probably it'll take 5 minutes. It won't take any time on it at all.
You don't judge to do it.
I'd like to wrap it into this meeting.
Okay.
May I ask, I see Mr. White's not here to speak for himself, but has Mr. White supplied you or any member of this board with a current assessment of his property value, so we know what revenue we will be losing? I mean, that's a vital, vital subject of why we've not moved forward on this. His property is one of the.
Well, I wrote him a letter saying that you were
I
looking
mean,
for
his-
that. I
his-
wrote a letter to
His
the
property
auditor
encompasses,
asking him to make the present one. We weren't gonna get any action on that till January or February next year before they'll do anything on that. And I don't believe that they're gonna be willing to wait for that, saying that that's just a dodge.
he
Sure what
could've-
they're
he
gonna do,
could've
just a
did
dodge
an
to
ass-
stop them having to rule on it.
we could have did an assessment at the end of tax year 2013. We have to roll over into this year, so now we do have to wait until January 2015. But that, again, that's negligence of Mr. White, but,
So,
not assessed then.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, I think I know where it's going, but we don't, let's talk for 5 minutes.
Sure.
We're going to close session.
Because
Um,
them assholes.
is that all you have for us?
That's all I have right this time. Anybody has questions on the various items?
They might be doing the same thing.
I did want to bring forward, since I'm the FOIA officer and the
Well, you
OMA
know, we
officer, just a
got
quick
that
report, we
graph
forgot to
going
put it
down
on there,
there,
but,
goddamn.
there have been 0 FOIA requests for the months of April or May. There's been 1 OMA alleged violation, and we got an answer back on that on May 2nd. Actually, trustee Comodina filed an OMA request for review against the Village of Cleveland and this board, alleging that we had violated her rights as a board member by rescheduling a board meeting, that there was an insufficient number of board members on March 6th, so that it was scheduled on March 13th, she alleges. This has gone through to Lisa Madden's office and has been determined that there is no basis to conclude that an OMA violation occurred in any way, shape, or form. And that's the only OMA that I've been made aware of, or alleged OMA, and there have been no FOIA requests from anyone.
This particular time, she completely vindicated the board.
Yeah, yes.
It's nice to hear back from the OMA with a,
Yeah, it didn't
With
take
the
them 2
decision.
years this time.
yeah.
Mhm.
After one of them was filed, and we couldn't get a response back. Funny.
And I also see in my packet, if you don't mind, there's a letter here from Ames Law Offices. Dear Mr. President and board members, Mr. Michael Anderson has contacted me and asked to write you requesting the cutting of grass and weed removal refuse located on the lot between the hall and his property. per the terms of ordinances 2011-8-1 and 10-1, a public nuisance exists on the lot, please rectify the situation. I would like to ask Mr. Erickson, who is in attendance, did you contact anyone in the village or on the board to ask them to do anything about any weeds or refuse that you allege is in disarray?
I've sat here for about 6 months watching Mr. White make requests and what have you. You know, and basically be ignored and such. So,
That's not the
no.
question.
For that reason, no, I certainly did not.
In the past, anytime that I've been contacted about anything, I've done everything I can to make compliance with the ordinances here and make neighbors happy with the results. And I've done a lot
Only
of
thing I
this
see
on
on
my
the lot
own.
is a motor home.
I don't understand what,
Then you missed the logs
why
that
you
are still on
couldn't.
the lot.
Well,
Steve?
I still don't have a key to the garage to mow, but I did do the weed whacking, try to clean some of the front, and beyond that, Trustee Hinkleman, his wife, and myself will be painting the porch and the rails and the ramp and everything as soon as time permits, because I like things to look nice. I would say that contacting an attorney was probably ridiculous on your part of money spent, but if you contact me, anybody, if you contact me, I will do what I can to help get it cleaned up or clean it up. And on that subject, I would also like to say thank you, David Nunn, for coming down to the boat ramp and helping me with those berms and the weed whacking and the mowing you did. I really appreciate it. I've got a big enough yard of my own, but I had meant to get to those berms a couple times, and I did pull the weeds up at the sign and planted a new plant there that somebody stole. Or maybe an animal, I'll say it could have been an animal, but,
And,
What is the complaint?
yeah, what is the
and if I
complaint?
may-
Would you show me after the meeting?
Yes, I will be glad to
Fair
show you
enough.
after meeting. The issue, the issue, my wife and I have both cut this village grass here, cut the hall, and really don't have a problem doing that. We honestly do not. All right, but the logs and so on that have been left out there, and I have no idea what else was out there. I'm not gonna run my mower across there to find out what's out
And we're
there.
talking long before this current
We have to
administration
follow
is sitting in these seats?
No, ma'am, we're
Okay.
talking about
How'd
that,
they get there?
we're talking about those logs floated in with the last flood,
Okay,
which was when this board took over. And they've been there ever since, and the
Has-
weeds were not cut until this week. And that includes all of last year. Those were not cut this year. I have no issue with,
was that area
Help.
too marshy? We had a massive flood last year, bigger than we've seen in probably a decade. Was that, was the issue that it's marshy
If I
back
may-
there and it
if I
can't
may,
be
Sher-
mowed?
Sherry, if I may. When I took over this office, I missed that part of the village property. My main concern was getting all the trees off of the garage roof that have been on it for the last 10 years. And I missed them logs out there, so I'm sorry. But we will get them logs out of there this week.
and once that's happened,
For 10 years, ain't been
I
here.
really don't have a problem with us cutting from time to time,
I
because
appreciate you
helping
doing
with
so.
the cutting, because we have before.
What?
But I didn't wanna run a mower through there. I'm gonna run my mower through there. God knows what's in there.
You have a, you know,
That's my
I will
reason.
address
It
Sure,
that.
I'll be happy to show you what the, I'll be happy to show you what
While we're on the
the.
subject, I'd like to point out a public safety problem with Mr. Erickson's
Behind
yard
me.
in the back. He's got one tree dead falling against another one that's not on the ground yet. It's accidentally perhaps, and
Is it in danger of being by Mr. Erickson himself?
We are cleaning it up.
don't know, but it's precarious and it's in his backyard and it's a lot more dangerous than a log sitting over here on the ground.
Exactly the point, it's in my backyard.
Right, it's in
Gary.
his yard, I don't know.
The logs are on the village property, so I guess we're back to square one. Let's-
We are cleaning it up.
Okay.
again, does it really require a letter to an attorney? Did it? I mean,
Sherry, Jim asked you specifically about, at a meeting, about the weeds and so on down there on his property that's,
And I said I was unaware of
adjacent
that.
to. All right, and you said
Drive
you
down
would,
Jackson Street and look at
and
it.
you said you
And I
would
did.
look into it.
And I did.
Because
Okay.
Jim White
And
lives
I
down there, you
asked
don't
the
wanna
people
mow
who
the
have the
goddamn
keys to
grass.
the garage that have the weed whackers and the mowers
Lester,
to
Okay, do you mow
either.
around your mailbox?
Huh?
Do you mow around your mailbox?
No.
And it
Yes, you do.
remains
Huh?
uncut down on Jackson Street.
Sure,
Sure, I can
everybody
show you
mows their
that
own
too.
ditch, and mows around your mailbox.
All right.
One person at a time,
Enough.
Main
okay?
Street owns that
I'm sorry.
property, not-
Let's
That's
talk,
on the
let's talk.
stove, Gary, not Jim.
Lester,
Huh?
just a second, and Gary too.
You wonder why the man wants to
I
move out
asked
of
him
the,
to
now
be
just,
quiet.
let me have one word.
No.
No, you just shut up for a minute. You drive down Jackson Street on the left-hand side and look at the way them weeds are growing down there because you guys don't like Jim White and his wife, Linda. That's a goddamn mess down Jackson Street because he lives down there. You wonder why the man's annexing out of town? It's because of the way you people treat him.
Lester, that's not the truth.
Yeah, the hell it ain't. And I'm gonna
No,
tell
it ain't the truth.
Hey.
You shut up.
no, I'm gonna tell you
No,
something.
you're not.
You're about
You're out
the
of order.
two-faced person
You're out of
ever.
order
When
right now.
when you moved into this town, Jim
I don't
White,
care
Jim
what-
White went and
You
tore
want
down
me
a
to have
building
you
from
removed
you.
from this meeting?
Jim White
You
went
shut
down
up,
there.
or you shut up right now, or
No.
I'll have you removed from this meeting.
Oh,
I'm not putting up with it.
why you need to put
You
up
will
with it.
not be
You're
addressed.
the most two-faced person I ever met in my life.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, he went down and tore that building down at what's-her-name's house, hauled it down to his place, then you turned around and went up and lied to people up there at the Walmart that he didn't retire, he was fired, and that's the reason he's stealing money from the town of Cleveland. Don't tell me about you and your two-faced, you're a two-faced person I've ever met in my life.
You need to go.
Excuse
You
me.
need to go.
Sickness in this village
You don't even know what
just
you're talking about.
amazes
The hell I don't know what I'm talking
No,
about.
you don't.
You want me to get the people down there you
Yes,
told
I
talk
do.
to?
Until then, get out. Before I call the cops, have you removed.
Oh,
You
bite
can be
my
removed
ass.
without calling the cops, you can be removed prior to that. Isn't this wonderful?
Yeah, it's great.
Isn't it just
White and
great?
them Love to get my
Now-
father.
Once
fired.
again-
Now, before, hey, before we go any further, did we used to mow the ditch down there
Hi.
in the past? I don't know.
It's pretty,
Yes.
I've never
it's
mowed.
pretty unknowable.
My husband is out of town working, so if someone would show me how to use the large lawnmower, I would volunteer
You know
to
what?
start
We have-
mowing
you know
some of
what?
this.
We have another person
We
who's
should-
volunteer.
We have a list, we have a list of people to mow,
Okay.
but the people who are on the volunteer list can't seem to get contacted by anybody, and I think I'm one of the only members sitting on this, at this desk at the board that doesn't have a key to that garage, and I would mow every day, I've got 2 hours every morning available. I can't get a key to anything. and
Well, I use
I'm
our
gonna
own
be-
mower,
And
so
I'm not
the
gonna
other
do
day
that.
just to do some of it, but I really don't want, I'll do it. I'm trying to be positive here and just show me how to use the machine and I'll get out there and do it. I mean,
And there's several of us that
He's-
say.
yeah, he's not
I don't
here
know
to
what
do the ditches
condition
and
that part of
stuff.
the road is in, it seems to me that it would be difficult to mow, but it could sure be knocked back with a weed whacker.
I just wanna know, Gary, do you know that we used to mow that in the past?
Jason always did the
Jim
upper
always
roads
saw that it
there.
was mowed, but I haven't mowed it because when the water came up,
There was
it
a bunch
drifted
of
wood
logs,
into
and
it,
he did-
and it hasn't been cleaned up. I
Yeah,
made an
Yep.
attempt to make one
Yep.
pass down it, and I saw the amount of wood that was there, I couldn't go any farther.
So why don't we put that on the list of things to get together to do
But-
as a
But if we
community?
mowed it if we mowed it in the past, we will mow in the future, I'll get down there this week, and I'll get it cleaned out, and then you can start mowing again. I didn't know
I've
what
never
we
mowed it.
mowed,
It's
and I
not
didn't
the
know it was
city's
part of our
property,
schedule that
so I
had to
don't
be.
know why.
Well, it is up to, for where the mailbox
It's
is.
not
absolutely.
village property,
We're talking
there's
about the
a,
park-
Yeah.
I know it should be up to Stoll's,
And that,
but
absolutely, that's the
it
village's
is
property.
their property. But if we mowed it in the
There's an
past,
easement there, but it doesn't go all the way
because
down.
Stoll's don't usually mow around their fields,
Yeah.
then we will mow it in the future,
It's,
and we will
it's
clean
on
the
the
brush out
shoulder,
of it.
Yeah.
and
When the water's
again,
up, you can't do it, but when the water's down and the breeze flows in, you gotta get the 3 out and go back.
absolutely.
And so I will take.
I just want the town to look nice again. I don't care what you mow, who mows what, I just want it to look nice again, that's all. And I will do it, I will step up and do it.
Well, I'll tell you right now,
That's, you know.
the buffalo gnats have been so horrible, you can't hardly stand to be outside, so you gotta be careful how long you're out if you have any allergies to those bites. But I've been again, everybody wants to bitch, everybody wants to be a critic, but have I ever seen Mr. Lindell out picking up any trash in the park that he uses for his boat? No. Have I ever seen him picking up any
Why am
rocks
I
or his
gonna
sticks?
show you anything?
No.
Volunteers.
Hey, Christ, quit bitching, will you?
Nobody's bitching, it's
Yeah,
just,
you are.
you know what?
All right,
You're an
it's time to
ass.
move on. It's time to move on.
I'm gonna bleep that.
It's time to move on.
Bleep
So
you.
just,
Yeah, right.
everybody bleep it.
Yeah, move on.
Everybody bleep it.
Yeah, it's time to move on. Okay. Okay, old business. Anybody have anything want to bring off the cable? Good. Next, building inspector. I've got some problems with our building inspector. My neighbor called Darren Roselle to put a roof on her garage. Darren come down and met with her, said it's gonna be $10, he come back, have the paperwork filled out. That's been over a month ago. I got to check it when I forgot to bring it.
It's been almost 3 months.
Yeah, probably have. I'm just being polite.
I
But,
talked to Darren again about this last month, and he believed in the fact that he didn't have the triplicate forms.
well, he's got it now.
And got them now, and still, there's been
And-
several projects that have not.
Donnie Lane put a new roof on his
And
house.
two.
It has not showed up on our financials, it's not been taken care of. I've talked to Dan Boggs says he would become the new building inspector. And I have a motion to appoint Dan Boggs as our new building inspector.
Is that a conflict of interest at all?
No, it is not.
No, because he doesn't have an interest over $5,000 in the village. So there is no conflict of interest. There's no way this man is gonna make $5,000
And
from a village of
Dan is
Cleveland.
duly
In 1 year.
qualified and educated to do all of the above.
Yes.
Then I
I have nothing
say,
against Darren Roselle.
he obviously doesn't have time for us.
Right, and it's such a small fee that
Because
you
he's very
collect.
polite on the phone, but he doesn't seem to follow through.
Right.
He's not even here tonight. I mean, two of us have talked to him. He wrote down the date and the time when I talked to him. He told me he would be bringing back all the paperwork on the 3 projects that were going on in the village at the time. And obviously you're saying that they still haven't been returned, so it's time to find somebody to get the job done.
Okay, get a motion.
Are you sure that it's not a conflict?
I am 100% sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
What do you think?
Steve,
Is that a
if I
conflict of
may,
interest?
if I may,
You can have small interest.
Wilbur
You can
Owens,
have small interest, so long as
Wilbur
it's not
Owens was
over
on the board and the
$5,000.
building inspector.
That is not true.
Jason Shetter was on the board and the
And the
building
building
inspector.
inspector.
There is
Oh,
no
yes.
conflict.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
there's no
then I make the
conflict.
motion that we immediately retain Dan Boggs as our new building inspector and send notice to the former building inspector, Darren Wazell, that his services are no longer required, effective immediately.
Second,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
It's always gonna have to get that.
Yeah.
And that he return anything and everything as property of the village of Cleveland,
Yeah,
in his
that's-
possession at this
He's got
time.
a stack of forms that, yeah.
Add that to the motion, that he return anything and everything in his possession that belongs.
This might be a conflict of interest if you voted no. Okay, all,
I want everybody to come here for the permit. I'll meet them here.
Yes, well, they gotta
I'm
get an
not going to their
application.
house, I'll meet them here.
Absolutely, you have a key to the door, you will have the forms in your possession, that's the way business is conducted,
Do
it's
you-
conducted in a.
Do you want a
house of
key
business.
to the office, or do you just want the forms in your possession?
Keep them here.
well, first we have to vote them in. We need to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Steve, you in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have 3 and Dan can't vote, so we have majority. And aye. Because Dan can't vote.
Grandma said over there, something wrong.
Mr. Lindell, if you would shut up, we could get through this business a little bit faster and all hear each other.
It'd be nice if you shut up too.
Lindell, quiet back there.
I didn't start it.
Well, I don't care, I heard you too. And I didn't say.
Whatever.
she did. Whatever.
Move
Dan,
on.
you removed 2.
Whatever.
Well, about one more and I'm gonna call. All right, mosquito plan. It was tabled last month. They came around once this month. I noticed it. I thought it was tabled, so I had Shauna call them, asked them what's going on. She got back that they just thought we was just gonna have it done. Well, that's not by the book. By the book says you gotta approve it first, you gotta call them.
Yep.
All right, do we want mosquito spraying or we don't?
Yes, We need mosquito spraying of some kind. If this is the only person in the area that does it, I recommend we get them started. They just had their first case of West Nile virus, and it was from a dead bird they found on the canal in Kelowna.
Okay, you wanna make that motion then?
Are we gonna just go with Kelowna's?
Well, who else you gonna get?
I don't know.
Anybody else out there that does it?
I've not had time to do any research on it, so I'll be the first to say, if somebody else knows of someone, we can call them quick, but we gotta get something going. And does that spray knock down the black buffalo gnats?
No.
What do we do for them?
Not much.
I had to miss a day of work earlier this week because my eyes were swelled shut from getting bit by buffalo gnats while I was, got bit on both eyes. I had to call into work because my eyes were swelled shut.
Absorbing Junior
Another month?
Vanilla.
or vanilla, either one, Absorbing Junior or vanilla.
I can't find it anywhere. I find
No.
it I paid 10 stops for Absorbing Junior. I can't
Yeah,
find
no,
it
it's
anywhere.
almost-
I have them
Walmart,
all- they look
$9
all
an hour.
around.
Because of those gnats, it's almost impossible to find, yes.
They told me that they're.
But they said you
backlog.
can mix vanilla and lemon oil, vanilla, lemon oil
Okay, we have a second on that motion.
Something
Are you making
else.
that motion?
to make your own spray.
And they're going to
Vanilla,
still come
lemon.
in after they finish with Kelowna every night.
That's what we did in the past.
We were
Whenever
gonna
cone
do
spray,
it-
we give them the authority that when they spray Kelowna, that is when we want it sprayed. And that's, was last year's practice, and I'm sure that would be this year's practice again. And I think this year's is $102.50 per application.
That was last year.
No, this is the current.
99.
90 was last year, this is $102.50.
Well, probably the price of things goes up, the price of gas goes up, the price of supplies goes up.
Price, everything's up.
But how often do we?
And they asked-
Well,
recommended
see,
last
now we
month,
could
every
put up
time.
once a week or twice a week on there, or we could just do like, and let it up to their discretion.
Well, should we do it twice a week right now while they're so heavy and they're hatching so heavily, and then break it down
Oh, I'm
to
sure
every
they
other
do Kelowna
time?
twice a week.
And then do it only once a week in July after it gets hotter and drier? I mean, can we call them and say, I just think that they sprayed way too much last year in late July. It seemed like they were here every 3 days in late July, and it was dry here. There were no mosquitoes biting. It seemed like a waste of money at that time. In June, we couldn't get them down here until 11:30 at night. And in July, they were coming by every 3 days. I'm like, why are they coming so often now? It seemed,
In my opinion, I don't think it helped me, but that's my opinion.
well, we got.
This is up to everybody, that's why you guys are bored, it's up to you guys to decide. But I don't want them spraying without authorization. We're gonna eat this first application they give us. Somebody's gonna eat it. We're not paying for it.
Well, I'm sure that
They
that's
weren't
gonna be an issue.
contacted,
I'm sure
and
that,
I
I'm
guess they-
sure that they, as business relationships go, they understand that, and it's not gonna be an issue. But I would say right now, at least for the month of June, we gotta get some spraying done. Because we certainly don't want to lose any of our pets or any of
Can I
our
make
pets to
one
West
comment?
Nile. Yes,
If I may.
please.
I don't wanna whip a dead horse or anything like that, but in order to make the spraying productive, one, knock the weeds down.
Yep,
Two, slow him down.
yeah.
He's driving way too fast to get affected. So, I've watched him, every time he comes down, 15, 20, 25 miles an hour. 5 mile an hour should be the limit. Make it effective. But
Yeah.
worse, we gotta knock the weeds down. It won't get into the weeds.
Yeah, and that's
The
up to
only two
everybody to
comments
keep
I have.
going when it's knocked down.
And by the way, congratulations on the purchase of the property over there, and it's starting to look something like it used to look back in the day.
Once again, knock the weeds down.
Exactly. It looks good.
Yeah, we're trying to get the lower park back under control. It got away from us this year. We're trying to get it back under control. We finally got, walkthroughs done on it and brush cleared so we can get down and mow it. We mowed once and we're gonna try and hit a couple more times this next
They
week.
mowed twice now.
Well, if we mow twice, not a good thank you, Gary.
And Leo went down to the boat ramp area on both sides and knocked the weeds back. We need to knock more of it back on the upstream side of the boat ramp, but from the downstream side, we've got them knocked back pretty good. It was still muddy and hard to get at, but,
When it gets away, it's hard to catch back.
and we
up.
have logs down there that need picked up too, lots of them.
Right, when I broke a leg
I rolled
this
them
year,
up, I know, I know.
didn't get
And
around and get things cleaned up.
Myself and several other residents rolled them up into little piles here and there, but that was the best I could do with it at that point. I don't have the muscles or the equipment to do more than that. So going back to that, I say we put mosquito spraying with, the Public Works Director of Kelowna back, get it rolling.
You
Follow
wanna
the
do-
course
you
that
wanna do
Kelowna's
it
doing
like
for the
for-
month of June.
You wanna do it for like a 3-month period, like June, July, August, is like September, things have usually died down, or you wanna do, just whenever they do it, we do it? This is
What
the,
we spent last year, around $3,000.
Oh, no, about 1,400, wasn't it?
oh no,
No.
that was, it was that, it was
Wow,
2,100 for
$3,000.
1 month.
Oh, was it?
Or no, the 2-month period was like 2,100 for 2 months.
It seemed like an awful lot to me in July and August when everything was so damn
Like
dry
14 something one month
everywhere.
and 7 something another, it was like 2,100 for 2 months.
Looks like it's pretty high,
Yeah.
at one point.
It gets a little costly.
I say for the month of June, we let him do it twice a week to get it knocked down. Get him knocked down, get him out of here. I would like to see him come here just a little bit earlier. It's most effective when they're coming up at dusk, but from what I read online, I don't know, but I guess he's gotta do what he's gotta do, if that's, you know. Maybe he could do Cleveland first and then do Kelowna, I don't know.
Probably price a little, but you might be able to get them to.
I say we do at least, do it the twice a week for the June, see how things start to dry out, and then if July still seems as damp and we still seem to have them, I don't know.
Until the snow.
I, as much as I don't think it does anything, I hate to think what it would be like if they didn't spray at all. Because they are bad this year.
I haven't, of course, I haven't been home much.
So-
Mosquitoes haven't bothered me, but they've been eating turkey.
If anybody wants to second that, or
What do you wanna
are we gonna
revise
let
it? Anybody wanna revise it anyway? You think we need it more or less or anything?
You think
Well, I'd
Wes?
say just do it on the schedule that Kelowna does it. I think they do theirs, I used to live in Kelowna. They did theirs on, twice a week in June, twice a week in, May.
And
And then they cut it down to kind of
No,
an
then
as
they- I
needed.
think they-
Once a week, yeah.
Once a week, I
That's what I
think.
thought. So twice a week in June, once a week in July, August.
They always spray like, they always do, because of the kids. I used to, grew up in Kelowna, I used to ride.
Used to ride behind the fogger, didn't you?
Sure.
That's what happened to your hair.
Yeah, we could tell, Dan.
That's why they spray like.
Keep the kids from behind the truck, huh? Okay, so the motion, do we wanna revise the motion, or how do we wanna have this read then?
I make a motion that we reinstate
Kelowna for mosquito spraying?
Kelowna for mosquito spraying. 2 applications weekly in June, 1 application weekly in July and August. And then we'll revisit it to see what September brings. I don't remember how the mosquitoes are in September. Anybody got an input on that one?
They're still here.
They're still.
So once a week in September too, I guess. I don't know, how late did we spray last year?
It's May through
We just left it up to
October.
them, I think.
October?
They're just doing
Yeah.
as they claim.
Till the
Well,
first frost.
we're
maybe.
talking-
October
we're
first,
talking
yeah, it
2,
is.
4,
What she just said.
2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 21, 22 weeks, we're talking $2,500 for public for public health.
Well, we can tell them to stop at any time,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's what I meant. Twice a week in June, once weekly in July, August, and
Yeah, no.
September.
You got that down, Sean?
Anybody second that?
Damn,
I'll second it, I
it's
second
twice
it.
already.
Okay, we have a second.
Move on.
All in favor?
We gotta vote, we gotta take voice.
Oh, that's right, just the money, so yeah.
Alright, trustee Krugman,
Yes.
trustee Valigier,
Yes.
trustee Boggs,
Yes.
trustee Davis. Okay, motion is carried.
Okay. Did you bring waivers with you tonight?
Got it in the hall.
Okay. Mr. Nunn, would you like a waiver?
He already
He got one.
I don't need one, I already signed one.
I can
Okay,
carry
unless you
one
need
the
two.
other night.
Okay, volunteer mowing.
Yes.
Anybody that'd like to volunteer also has to sign a waiver that relinquishes the village from injury, personal injury. They did get you one, you did get it signed? Okay, so all you need is the key and somebody to show you what we know.
How do you get a key?
I already went over that with Dave, and he's got experience on his ETR already, so Base and O for, is it Geneseo Campground?
Yep. Okay, so we just need to get him a key. Okay. Anybody else need to sign, you wanna sign a waiver?
Yeah, I was the first one to sign the volunteer list, and yes, I
Okay,
want
now,
to.
this cannot be used on personal property,
Why are you bringing that up?
because
Why?
it cannot be used on personal.
And why are you saying that to me?
Because you want to use the pole saw on personal property, you can't do that either.
I don't want to, I didn't even know we have a pole saw, what the hell are you talking about?
Okay, fine, drop it.
Sherry don't have to sign a waiver because she's already on the board
Oh,
member.
that's right, okay. You don't have to,
What?
you don't have to keep the garage, anytime.
No, nobody will give me a key of the garage, and I didn't know we had a pole saw, so I guess after the meeting, we're gonna have to discuss a couple things. Because I've heard some pretty ugly rumors that are just complete bullshit.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss it. But I need to sign this too?
Yes, please.
Okay. Anybody else want to volunteer? Okay.
Catching some nice catfish.
We did get one complaint about not having the village cleanup days. Did we wanna reconsider that, or we just wanna skip that one?
Well, I'd like to see it be reconsidered, and I've had several phone calls from several residents on several different streets. So I told them all that I would try to get it revisited today for a potential cleanup week sometime in late June, if that's a possibility. And I did a bunch of background work on it. I spent several hours on the phone. And I came up with two options. I talked to River Valley Car Care, which used to be called River Valley Co-op, will take tires. It's $6 a piece. So if anybody has tires you wanna get rid of, you can take them to Geneseo, to River Valley Co-op, and they will take them off your hands for $6 a piece.
You can take them down to Hughes Tire and Battery in Milan, they'll get rid of them for $3 a piece. You got a semi-tire, it's $10. But when the Hughes, they'll get rid of them for $3.
Other than that, none of these companies will take tires. None of them will take electronic waste, none of them will take TVs, none of them will take paint, oil, any kind of spray cans, anything with a cord. None of that can go in the dumpsters, none of them will take them. All the things that I've been putting on the list for the past 4 or 5 years to try to keep this organized, none of these companies will take. Allied Waste, currently known as Republic, is the only company that I can find, except one in Muscatine, who wants $250 to deliver the dumpster and $250 to pick it back up, so they're out. It's the only company I can find that has bigger than a 20-yard dumpster. And believe me, I've made a lot of phone calls, so Republic, formerly known as Allied Waste, is the only company I can find that does a 30 or a 40-yard roll-off. And I talked to Nicole Schuler again. I don't have anything in writing from her yet. She said she has to take this past her manager, but she said she will negotiate for the same price we paid last year, but she has to take it to her general manager first. And I believe that ended up being about $650, if I'm correct. Does that sound about right to everybody?
But you had 2 dumpsters.
Yes, we had 2. If we think we only need 1, that price is gonna go down.
We also have another option.
I know, I have another option too.
Okay.
Nicole said the 30-yard dumpster and the 40-yard dumpster are within $20 of being the same price, so I would say get the big 40-yard. In the past, my son has come down on his own time, on his own dime, to help me and our community by jumping in that filthy, stinking dumpster and repositioning stuff so we can get the maximum amount of stuff in that dumpster. While he's doing that, he has also been taking out all the paint that got thrown in, all the corded items that got thrown in, all the oil that got thrown in because people are ignorant or careless or whatever. And for all of that, in his time and trouble, he takes out a few pieces of metal scrap that he takes to the scrap yard. His total take on metal scrap in 5 years has been about $300. He also, on his own time and his own dime, took all of the TVs, all of the electronics, all of the paint, all of the oil, some of the tires, and everything else to all the appropriate agencies and had it appropriately and legally disposed of.
Just getting away from the price of the.
No, it's not. It never cost anybody anything here. It was all free to everybody here, and he did all of that. And he would continue to do that if asked by me to do that. I also took a lot of my time, my dime to do that.
We just need
Now,
a
our
price
other
quote. We need a
option-
price quote.
Our other option is Conrad. Conrad does not have anything bigger than a 12-yard dumpster, which is about the size of this open space between these tables and about that high. That's the biggest dumpster they have, and that is $212, but they also won't take paint, oil, all the stuff. They said what they can do is give us a 12-yard dumpster for the people who don't want to put it at the end of their driveway. The other people can put everything at the end of their driveway, and Conrad will come down, and they're still gonna leave the paint and the oil and the refrigerators and the corded items, all that sit at the end of your driveway. You're still gonna have to get rid of them yourself. But they will come down and take large items and your regular refuse, and every time they have to crunch the machine to compact, they're gonna charge $10. I personally don't see where that accomplishes anything, because we've still got all the oil, all the paint, all the
All
spray
the
cans.
oil is your own problem. Your oil is your own problem.
So if you put it at the
Then
end
what
of
have
your
we
driveway, they're
gained?
not gonna pick it up.
No, they're not. So what have we gained doing anything for the community by that? The community still
The
has to.
community
That's why
has to
I'm
learn how to
saying,
get
don't
rid of
even
it like
get a
everybody
dumpster
else
and take your
does.
shit wherever it's gotta go,
Do you think-
so.
All right.
The community does not get rid of your tires. The community does not get rid of your televisions. You take them to Cowboys and pay them $2 a TV to take them.
Or you take them to Best Buy and they take them for free.
Okay, then they do that. Why are they putting them in our dumpster?
Because that's what we have it here for community cleanup, for the
But
items
you
that they-
cannot put e-waste in a dumpster.
And I have personally taken care of all that for everybody on my own time and my own dime.
Well-
Have I not?
Okay, we have one person that'd like to make a motion, has some cleanup days. Does anybody want to have a second on that? I don't see a second. Moving on.
Thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome.
You can take your stuff back to your buddies and give it back to them, they get rid of it themselves.
That's what Community Cleanup Weeks is about.
Not getting rid of their oil and tires.
What else is it for? Everybody has trash
Get rid of
pickup.
your couches and your chairs and stuff.
And Conrad's does a once-a-year large item, Alleyways does a once-a-year large item.
Well, then why
You
don't
have
they
to
go
watch
out
the
there
schedule.
then?
We've done community cleanup days to make it convenient for our community.
Not to clean up everybody's oil messes.
No, Richard, may I?
Yeah,
If I may, just make
yeah, go ahead.
If we're going to say, okay, no, we're not gonna have cleanup days this year. And before, Sherry, before you go, I do wanna make a comment that, yes, Trustee Krogman and I have spoken a couple of different times, and she has said to me, anytime there's a issue, please get a hold of me. That I did not, but I do appreciate that, Sherry, and I'll publicly say that. The issue on the, as far as the dumpster, you know, if we're not gonna have it, okay, well, we're not gonna have it. That's
I don't
fine.
have a problem with having it.
No,
What I have a problem with is people bringing their oils, their paint. Your paint you dump out in your driveway and it dries up and then you just clean it up there. Your
Okay.
oil though, we do not get rid of oil, we do not get rid of e-waste, and we do not get rid of your tires.
No, and that's fine, all right.
Everybody's responsible for them items themselves.
And
If
they-
they bring them down here, I would be all in favor of bringing that dumpster back.
And telling people that, you know, no disagreement there. But the point that I want to make, and the point that I made to Trustee Krogman at the same time, is if you're not going to have it, let people know in advance. You've got people that, me included, that have been hanging on to stuff and saying, okay, we'll be all right, I can clean my place up as soon as the dumpster gets here, we'll throw it in there,
Yeah, I
no
got something I
problem.
like to throw in it too, but
All right.
Well,
but-
and
but-
now,
no, I have.
now what they're doing with it is they're dumping it down the back road on my 17-acre river property, because I took a truckload of stuff out of there last week, and there's couches and chairs shoved on steel back there.
Yeah, the point that I'm making is to say, fine, if you're not gonna have it, don't have it, but let people
Send out a
know.
card or a letter and let
Yeah,
people
yeah,
know
let
you're not
people
gonna-
know that, okay.
Give them some options for where to
This is
send
the,
it to.
this is the last year we're gonna have it, or, you know, like that. But don't just leave everybody hanging
So
with.
last year, we just said we was gonna skip a year.
We've been hanging on to stuff
We said that in
over
this
the
room, but
winter.
does the community
I have
know?
And
no
now we're
problem
saying,
with having
okay,
it. Like
now
I
what do
said,
we
If
do?
you got couches and
You
chairs,
know.
you get rid of, we don't do refrigerators.
How are you gonna stand there and monitor that?
That's the problem. It's up to the people in the community to monitor it.
Who's helped monitor that in the last 5 years except me?
Exactly. It's the people in the community that you're trying to help that are taking advantage of it. Now, until the
I
people in
understand
the
that.
community do not take advantage of us, well, they're leaving their oil.
Well, that's
We had
never
probably
gonna
15,
happen.
20 gallons of oil sitting out there last year.
There were 70
70 gallons of oil. We're not an oil
There were
dump
47
station. You have to have a
tons.
license for that.
I didn't put
We
it
don't
on
have
that
a
record.
license to dump
We
oil.
He's not saying that you did, Mike, he's just
I
saying
didn't say
that
you
someone
did.
in this
But it's up
village
to the
did.
people of the community to
You know,
understand.
you know
If
what
we
he's
shut
saying.
you off for a year, maybe next year you won't put your oil out there.
Oh, yes, they will. There'll always be people
Well,
who
they do,
will.
we'll shut them off the year after again.
Okay, well, and again, not to, you know, not to belabor the point, if you decided not to have it, you decided not to have it. But I'm just saying that, you
It's
know.
not me, it's up to the
I
board.
don't
to decide.
believe, well, you know, right, to the board then, I will say to the board, I don't believe you're doing anybody any favors by, at the very last minute, saying, okay, well, this year we decided not to do what we've always
There's
done in
another
the past.
alternative, Mike, but Sherry didn't present it all.
I did
Well, she
present. What did I
it,
present?
but there is another alternative. Conrad said they will come around and they will go house to house. If there's oil sitting out there, it's gonna stay there. If there's a television sitting out, it's gonna stay
Did
there.
I not say that?
But if you have a couch you need to get rid of, fine. A chair, that's fine. No e-waste, no tires.
Great, is that
And
an option?
that's what I wanted to bring to the board last month, but I didn't make it to last month's meeting.
Okay.
But that's what I'd like to see the board adopt.
Okay, well, trustee Krogman has, you know, offered let's bring it back up and let's have something like that. That sounds like a great idea.
That's the first
That's
time,
gonna
you know,
help
I can
all of
come
You
us.
up-
asked if anybody wanted to make the motion, nobody spoke up, so it's done, it's a done deal, nobody made
Well,
that
you spent
motion.
so much time on the big dumpster,
No.
this is one that should have
I-
come up first.
Well, in your opinion, but nobody spoke, so I started speaking about it. I'm the one who did the research. I'm the one who talked to the Conrads this morning again to make sure I was clear on what they were saying. And I thought I did present that, did I not? They want $10 every time they got a compact. They were gonna leave
Yes.
the oil and the TVs and anything with the cord and the tires and the paint and the spray cans and all that sit right there on the curb, so it's still gonna be a problem. But what have they gained? They will do large items any day of the week anyway. I don't see where it gains anything for the community, but if you think it does, then pick a day,
Well,
write out
then-
postcards, say this is large item pickup day,
That'd be
large item
great.
pickup day.
That'd be
then.
great, and that'll solve the oil and the tire
The
and the
Conrad-
e-waste problem.
But see,
I'd
when
love to
we
see
don't
that.
have
I believe my
a
wife talked to him last
unified,
month
we don't
about
have
that
a
and come up
unified
with the very
company.
first plans on that.
Yeah, that'd be great if you guys would do that, you know, but just don't leave us, all I'm saying is, exactly like I spoke with trustee Krogman about.
I
You know,
talked to
Don't just leave us
Nicole
hanging.
Schuler as well about doing like a large item. She said they can't do that because they can only do it for the customers that they service on an everyday basis. Conrad said they will come in and do it for all of us in the village one time, but they're gonna leave all that other stuff sit on the curb.
That's the way.
Perfect.
And
That way you
they
don't have
want
to deal
about a
with that.
1 month notice,
Exactly.
but they want $10 every time they
Yeah.
compact.
Yeah, if you have their-
So how often do
have
they
their
compact?
service.
They couldn't tell me. They said it may be, depends on how many couches and chairs and boxes full of miscellaneous crap is there. I thought I presented that well.
Didn't you say
Perhaps
they do that anyway?
you're
That's what I.
too
My
thick-headed and
wife told them to
biased.
start with on that. It was, we had talked about it before last month's meeting. Me and you had sat there in the garage and talked about that before last month's meeting, because she had called Conrad. And that's what, and the Conrads also said that they were like a representative of the village to ride with the truck.
Town closures.
Yeah.
But don't they do that? I mean, can't you put stuff
And
in
unless you're a regular member.
one large item?
This would give them the opportunity to kind of clean house if they've got multiple large items.
And for people who do not use Conrads, this would give them an opportunity, but I don't know if Allied does a one large.
No, I just said, Nicole Schuler said they do not. Only for their customers that have regular monthly pick up with them. The other problem with this village is we don't have one trash service like Moline. Moline has one trash service, Silliphus has one trash service. We've got 4, 5, 3 at least.
Yes.
Some people have Republic, some people have Conrad, some people have Tri-County, some people have the little silver dumpster thing. So Conrad did say they'll do every stop but they will do every home in the village of Cleveland confined for $10 a crunch.
And Sherry, if I may, also, what that will avoid is, and trustee Krogman has brought it up before, you don't just have folks from Cleveland putting stuff in those dumpsters. It can and will be
Correct.
filled up by God knows who.
Sure.
This
You're gonna have
And
particular.
we don't have that mess sitting out there for 3 months.
Exactly,
outside
you won't have
village
the mess out
garage.
there, but this particular plan will eliminate also that, the
And
idea
my wife was the
of
initial
God
person
knows
that
who
talked
brings
to
what.
Conrad's about that.
So, you know, I mean, if you guys would take a look at that, you know, I mean, I'd really appreciate it if you take a look at it, at least doing that, because, like I said, you know, otherwise, we're kinda hanging here with stuff that we've got that, I don't know what to do with it now, for sure, but it's gonna, it's just a mess.
Well, a lot of it gets dumped down the back road, believe me.
Yeah,
Stoles has couches and chairs piled up on their little lane. So you gotta try to satisfy all the people as best you can, and some are always gonna be unhappy, and some are always gonna take advantage. I thought I researched this pretty
Yes.
well. I'm sorry that doesn't satisfy you, Mayor Waterman, but I worked hard on this, and I revisited it because I was contacted by several residents, and not even down here, people on the hill. Carol Stewart, for one, she said I could use her name for one, another neighbor of mine for 2, and 3 people on the hill that I don't even know, but they got my number off of this little board out here and said, we know you and your son are the ones always out there organizing all this stuff and helping take it away for free. Why aren't we having community cleanup days this year? And is there anything we could do to sway the board to do it? And I said, I will revisit it at the board meeting. So I've done that on behalf of the village.
Well, I have nothing against the Conrad proposal, but as far as the dumpster proposal, I'm totally against, but that's, once again, it's up to the board.
I'd like to see
Would
the
you like to,
Conrad.
would you like to resubmit your motion?
I never made a motion.
Well,
You asked for a motion to be made and there was no motions made.
why didn't you make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to have.
I'd like to see
Conrad-
somebody else on this board speak up, so I don't look like I'm the only
Yeah,
one here
Mr.
with a
Davis-
voice.
Yeah, Mr. Davis is about to
Brian's
do
doing
that.
it right
Okay,
now.
I'd like to make a
thank you.
motion to have Conrad come down, $10 to compact our stuff. I don't like seeing the dumpster, having the oil, having people bring tires and other stuff that doesn't belong in the dumpster.
We was in the last
I'll
fall,
second
actually
that.
trying to get rid of tires.
Let's try it this year, see how it works, see what it
That
ends
way they
up
send it out
costing.
there, they can
Send
just leave it at the end of the drive.
Put flyers in the mailboxes.
Anything that does not meet
Who's gonna ride with the
the
truck?
landfill,
Not it.
we can ask for volunteers on that. We'll have to find out what day they're coming.
If you can,
Well,
if
first
they
we
can
have,
work it around my work schedule, then I will be more than happy to count the sweeps on this rock, or maybe
Richard,
Mr.
I was a
Erickson would like
proponent,
to.
I was a proponent of this. I thank trustee Krogman, trustee Davis, trustee Balaguer for getting it done. If it, let me know when, I'll be only more than happy to ride with
They
the
usually
gentleman
come
if
through
I'm,
town on Mondays and Thursdays.
well,
but
they'll
this is
pick a day and we'll
this
say,
is-
we'll have to say, they
they'll-
would like a month, about a month notice, and they would request, obviously, we're gonna need to send postcards to every house to let people know that we've changed the program and what we're doing and what day.
They'll pick a day. I'm very grateful
It'll be-
to the board for
it'll be a
having done it. I'll be
curbside thing.
happy to do
Sherry,
that.
could we get you to get with Conrad and find out that day that they?
No,
do this?
I'm done.
No?
I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, so we need like an, did you set
We need to
that,
put
Steve,
flyers
or,
out.
so like that?
Or
Can we get like an all in favor, or do we do a
Oh,
roll call,
yeah.
or?
We have
gotta
a
do roll
motion
call,
and
it's
a
money.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
We gotta do roll call,
Oh,
it's
that's right,
money.
roll call. Absolutely.
Everybody just does need to understand, it's $10 per compactor, and we don't know what that's gonna be.
Yeah,
If
no
it
one-
works out great this
Yeah.
year and it's cheaper than what we've done, then
Trustee Boggs?
we've hit on a good
We'll
plan.
have to
You've
talk
hit on a
about
good
it.
thing.
Trustee Davis,
Yes.
trustee Krogman.
Yes,
Thank you, motion is carried.
Thank you.
Takes one sofa, and that's a crunch.
absolutely. 2 chairs is a crunch,
That's it.
but it may still end up being,
This might cost us $1,000.
$10.
well, I would like,
No idea.
what I am willing to do is get together with our clerk and put together a postcard or a one-page letter that we can staple that won't cost a lot of postage let the people know when we're gonna do it, how we're gonna do it, and give them other alternatives. Best for where you can take these other items. Best Buy will take 3 electronic items of any kind every day from you. Free of charge. You walk in the front door, you go to the service desk, you tell them I have e-waste that I don't know how to dispose of, and they just take it from you. 3 items every day for the rest of your life, no questions asked. And that's where I took all 47 TVs last year and computer monitors. They took them all in one swoop, because I had them loaded up in my truck and my trailer. They took it all. You have to unload it yourself.
You can get rid of tires, like I say, Hughes Tire and Battery and Milan will take tires for $3 a tire. Sure, you have somebody to take them for $6, that might be closer.
Yeah, Geneseo. That's the only, I called a few. I did not know about Hughes taking them in Milan. That's, I mean, it's cheaper, but you gotta use your gas to get there.
Okay. Let's move to the next item on the agenda.
Thank you, Jesus.
Village, well, no, that was the last one. Cleveland ticket book.
I can't. My hips are hurting too bad. My fibromyalgia is in full force right now.
These ticket books, I talked to Susie Bogart a while back, and if we wanted to do our own ordinances and have our own ticket books, we could have no contest tickets. And the fines would go to us, or we want to write ordinances.
No, fines with the money will not be back to us.
If we write no contest tickets in our own books, I believe it said, wasn't it?
No, the one who got behind that.
Because I've been using equipment in my private property.
Fines would, yeah, but for no contest tickets, I believe I talked to her. What you got in here about no contest? See, they can't use their no contest tickets because they are for going ordinances only.
It says there will be a percentage come back.
I don't think we get anything, unless we write our own ordinances and adopt them closely to theirs, then they can, and purchase their own ticket book, then they could write no contest tickets out of our ticket book. And then the revenue would come back to the village. That's the way it was explained to me last year when I talked to her.
In this, the fines from tickets will go to Kelowna. The idea behind that is that Kelowna pays the overtime to the police officers that have to show up in court.
That's for the fine for tickets, no,
The
not,
only
no,
time
not, no
Kelowna will
dime.
bill for court.
In no contest tickets, there's no court appearance, there's no contest. That's called a no
Okay.
contest. No court
So
appearance.
she didn't answer all of my question then.
Well, that's the way it explained to me, but it comes down to, do we wanna go through our ordinance book, get it all in order, purchase ticket books, and then have them, that ticket, or that
Because in my
ordinance book,
question, it was for the notice to appear or for no contest tickets. And she just came back and gave fines from the tickets.
yeah, see right here, it
That made me
says,
believe it. and
if you're looking for something more like our no contest, you would need to create an ordinance allowing for such a fine and establish fine amounts for the greatest ordinance violation. Just like Mr. Erickson's, plea about the logs back here. There's no teeth in that, and there's no fine for it, so you can't write anybody a ticket for having logs back here. You can't write anybody a ticket for littering in, well, I do think we have one for littering, we did write that one, yes, we did. I don't know, some of the other things that we would have ordinances for, barking dogs, or excessive noise after midnight, or something like that. We don't have any fines written with them ordinances, so we have to go through each one of them ordinances, set a dollar amount for fines for violating them. And I
isn't
don't, I think
it
it's
easier,
something. just
again,
we
isn't
should
it
have
easier to go to your neighbor and go, you got some really high weeds here and some stuff, can I help you with that? Isn't it easier to go,
Yes, I think it's,
do you know your dog's barking all day while you're gone at work? Can we do something about that? It's really aggravating me because I work third shift.
it's gonna be a lot of work on the village to try to get get ordinances in place and everything. I think we just need to.
Why is
pass
there
it.
so much hatred
Huh?
and disparity in this village?
I think we need to go past that. Okay.
New business.
Oh, and somebody put the, I didn't know this was on here. Boat ramp and park area.
Everybody needs help their neighbors.
Oh, what-
Absolutely.
True story.
The golden
somebody bring that
rule.
up, Shauna?
Sherry, boat ramp and park area signs, ordinances, rules for loitering, littering, and fires.
We've been talking since we started building that boat ramp area up, how many years now? With the project got put on hold because there was so much bullshit involved with it and all the lawsuit and this, that, and the other. The project never did get finished. But we did talk about putting up signs. There's congestion at the boat ramp, there's some screaming matches going on at the boat ramp because people are parked in the wrong way. I live right by it, so I hear the majority of it. There's trash everywhere all the time this year. There's people down there building fires right on the boat ramp. They put big rocks in a big circle that they got, big chunks of concrete, made a fire on the boat ramp. The next guy comes at 5 a.m. to drop his boat in and bam, he hits this big pile of rocks. And he's screaming, and he's having a fit. I feel that we need to get together on this once and for all and put up some kind of a sign down there so people know this is not a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Sign ain't gonna help you a bit.
Well, what's gonna help, Steve?
You know, call the cops when you see them down there.
And
The
the
type of
cops are gonna
people that are
say,
doing that are
we
not
don't,
gonna
but
obey
we
a
don't
sign.
have any ordinance to back it up. The police are gonna say, show me your ordinance, show me what the rules are, and we don't have anything.
Write something up, we'll have to get one going.
Oh, I
Just putting a sign out.
I
ain't
tried
gonna
to ask
help.
for a curfew on it last year for loitering down there or something. Tried to put a curfew on down there. If people use the ramp is one thing, but people loitering down there after a certain time, but
Well,
nobody wanted to go with that, so I don't know. It's up to you guys to come up with some rules on this.
and Mayor White, for probably all the wrong reasons, did put a littering ordinance into effect, and we don't have anything up signage on that. I think if you put the signage up, and we do need to get a second trash can down there, because that one's getting filled too fast. Maybe somebody will at least pay attention if you put something up that says something about littering and no camping in that area, give them an option where they can camp. Maybe just do one more time, let's do a special meeting just on that. Because people want to come down here and enjoy this stuff. I think they all want to work together. I think everybody wants to have a good time, they just don't, some of them just don't know where to park.
Or 95.
And they don't know how to park a boat trailer, or how to get it out of the way, or even know that it is in the way. Because they're not used to pulling, they come down here once a year with a boat or a kayak, and then they're in the way of the horseshoe to get turned around. If we had just a little bit of signage, and politely went and talked to them, once again, can I talk to you for a minute? Like to explain my point of view here?
Well,
Instead of everybody bitching about it and talking about it behind everybody's back, help
we
your
could try
neighbor.
to set something up where after I talk to Mr. Brandow, maybe we could set something up to in the middle of the month. Maybe we put 2 items on the agenda, like try to get signs on it for a boat ramp and
Not try anymore, do. Let's do it.
that sounds like,
Huh?
no try, do.
There you go.
Should we skip that and try to set something up here soon? But let me see what happens with Steve Brandow, 1 year or 2 ago, I'm supposed to meet with him. And I'd like to share that information with everybody. When we get together in a week, share that information, see if we can get something on the Main Street project and culverts, whatever. Maybe we can get this worked in with that too. Maybe get some signs set up. Okay. I tried to get my wife tried to get let's move on to the next one. Florham Park District tax increase. And then I got it here somewhere. Trying to get a hold of people on top of the hill, started this. The other night, wouldn't even believe anybody return a call. But, seems like Florham tax, they would, the petition to get us removed from Florham tax, from the Florham Park Board. Yeah. And That's one of the things I had on my agenda in my term here, was to try to get it resolved from their part forward.
Which I don't
As
think
everybody
we
knows,
can.
they haven't done anything, but if they bring that petition to me, I'll definitely sign it.
I've already signed it.
You've already signed it? I haven't seen
They
it
were
yet.
bringing it
Everybody-
around,
everybody
they were
else has
bringing it
signed
around,
You seen it yet, Steve?
It's over at Simply Countertops in Cologne.
they're everywhere. I signed it at, Country Fixins. The girls were in there, I was there for breakfast and the girls were asking.
Who are
What
they
Kelowna,
talking about?
what Kelowna is proposing to do is build a new community center behind the grade school. Kelowna was just given, no strings attached, the old Indian Trails Resort, which has a very nice community center with it and a very nice pool, by the way. But now Kelowna wants to build a new community center behind the grade school, and they want to raise the taxes to cover the $4 million that it's gonna cost to build a community center.
For 30 years.
Over a 30-year period, they're gonna raise taxes for 30 years to cover the cost of the $4 million community center they wanna build behind the grade school.
So
I personally found it not to be necessary since they were just gifted Indian Trails Resort, and there's plenty of room there to have any kind of a community shindig you wanna have.
I took this one.
That's what it's about.
This is just to dissolve the Kelowna tax, the Kelowna Park District. Let's see. Argue with deputation. To dissolve the Kelowna Park District for the following reason. Okay, I was just trying to get us out of it.
I don't know.
Thank you, Richard.
It's not possible.
Yeah,
We need out of the park district.
yeah, well,
Richard, for everybody's benefit here, the last time I had Rock the River, I contacted the people at Kelowna Park District and said, can you make some kind of a donation toward? And they said, no, it's the policy of this board that we don't donate to nothing. Well, every single person in here that lives in Cleveland pays taxes every year,
to them.
and what you get is nothing.
Zero.
The other.
Well, you get the same right that every other citizen in the United States gets. You can go and use their park. You can go and use their merry-go-round for free.
Exactly. But-
Yeah, without being charged.
But
We
the-
pay taxes for it.
Yeah.
But anybody can stop by and use their
But the
merry-go-round.
point is that the money,
It's been looked up every time, and they have to let you out. But I don't know what they're talking about, they're expanding the whole thing to a referendum situation, I think, here, and that's your best bet.
yeah, the whole thing, the point of the whole thing is that not just us, but communities all over pay taxes.
Right.
And when you ask
But if they don't
for,
get it done, then we want to.
when you ask for any of that to be returned to the community where the taxes are paid, you get nothing. So I'd encourage every single individual in here, not only to sign the petition, but to vote for disbanding it when it comes up. There's no money ever coming back anywhere except to them.
Correct.
That's all I have, thank
I
you,
don't know
Richard.
why it was produced in the first place.
Yeah, they absolutely serve us no purpose.
Well,
So where are the petitions at, so I can stop in someplace and sign?
I don't know, I haven't seen one yet, but you can bet I
There was
will.
one at Country Fixins. The girls were walking around that morning, but it's my understanding that there's one at the desk at Country Fixins. There's one at the countertop place. There's one at BJ's, last I heard. There is,
I was in BJ's this morning, I didn't see one in there, Terry.
said last I heard.
Okay.
There's the phone
well,
number
Tom,
down at the
Tom
bottom.
and Jean at Simply
Yeah.
Countertops, she was the one that was telling me.
She's
She's
pretty
pretty much ahead of
She is, she's an advocate for it, and she's working hard on it.
Who is it, Chair?
The people on Simply Countertops,
Oh, okay.
I don't know her name, but I know that she was one of the ones that had the petition the day I signed it. What is it?
it. Her first name was Jean.
Jean, yeah. She was one of the ladies that was telling us about it and walking it around Country Fixins that morning, that Saturday morning I was there. And I signed it.
I'll have to definitely make it a point to find one.
They live right next to Rick Brew.
Yeah. Yeah, they live up off of High Street and whatever that crossroad is.
Well, he's part of it.
Are we on public comment now?
Yes, we are.
I have one quick comment to make and then I'm out the door. I
You
don't
have to
know.
close session?
Closed session.
Huh?
You guys closed session.
Why do I have to have a closed session?
Gray requested closed session again.
Oh, we're gonna have a closed session?
Yeah.
Real quick, 5 minutes.
Okay, well, this is still one quick public comment. I have never, and I will never, break any rules or use any equipment that belongs to the Village of Cleveland. I've also have never even used the dumpster when it's been here all these years. I've never put a personal item in there of my own. I've never used a pole saw. I've never tried to use a pole saw. I am fully capable of driving a Z-Track. I do not need it to mow my own yard, Jeanette, because I have my own 430 John Deere tractor. Thank you.
Jeanette never said nothing, Sherry.
Oh, yes, she did.
And don't direct things at my wife.
Yes, she most certainly did.
No, she did.
Oh, yes, she absolutely did.
Okay, whatever, go on with it, Sherry.
I'm done, that's it, that's all I've got to say. It never happened, it never will happen. So stop telling people that I'm trying to do it.
Whatever.
Maybe you need to
Okay.
control your brain when you're drinking
Any
too
other
much.
public comment?
Maybe you better get your mouth off me.
I'm just saying, Jeanette.
I'm just saying, you better get your
Motion to
mouth
close,
off me.
go into closed session.
Recess, sir.
Recess, to go into closed session.
Second?
Second.
Purpose of it is to discuss imminent litigation. I know that we've had the one letter we got from them, but I do know with my telephone conversation. with
Okay,
them-
so if we're going into closed session, we need to get the audience, the gallery to leave.
I just want the board here to believe, they believe that legal action is going to
So
take
you do have reason to go into closed session. There will.
Right.
Okay, take it. Call the meeting back to order.
Okay.
Now, Sherry. You got a very important role here, 'cause I don't remember what you said.
How was you gonna take attendance
first?
Mayor Waterman,
Oh, here.
Trustee Davis,
Here.
Trustee Krugman,
Present?
Trustee Ballinger,
Here.
Trustee Boggs.
Here.
Okay, the clerk is here, the treasurer's here, and the attorney is here, and we do have a quorum.
Just like to have a motion, if I could, to.
I would like to make a motion that we
Attorney Graham Lee.
allowed Attorney Graham Lee to present some questions about the de-annexation and other issues regarding that to the opposing attorney Ames Law Office at his discretion.
Thank you. That's all I need.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Do we need to take a roll call since we're going to be spending money to do that? We have.
No, I don't think
You're
that.
on the payroll anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, move.
Is that it?
Motion to close.
Miss Reporter, is
Second.
there,